One of my favorite things is goals. I like to set them, I like to make them, I like to see other people achieve them. Do I always do my best to stick to my own? Absolutely not, but that's not going to stop me from setting goals for 2026. So in this video, I'm going to actually look and see what my goals for 2025 were, if I accomplished them. If we're being honest, I didn't even realize that I was going to do that until this moment. So I have no idea what those goals were. I should probably write them down somewhere and try my best to actually keep up with them instead of just seeing if things happen when I exist. And then we're going to set some for 2026. I don't have a lot of super specific, like, number based, I want to be doing this kind of goal, but we're going to see what I had to say last year. I'm just gonna scroll through it. I'm not gonna go through and live react. So they were reading channel book adjacent goals. Starting off with my subscriber count goal, my goal for the year was 7.5k. I will not be hitting that, and that is okay. I put a lot of time, effort, energy, care into my channel this year. I do have some things that I would like to change about my channel in general, but I'm happy with the videos that I put out. There's nothing that I'm like, wow, I wish I wouldn't have done that, or I would have done this. I will very likely hit 7k, which is very close, and I'm happy with that. Setting my goal for next year, I think my goal will be 8.5k. That is in line with my growth from this year. Just in general, YouTube has been a harder year for growth for almost every single content creator that I have personally talked to. So especially if you are somebody that does make YouTube videos and you haven't really found your community yet, you don't have anybody that you really talk about the specifics of YouTube growth and all of that kind of stuff, it has been just like a lower year for that for everybody. Obviously there are exceptions and truly good for those people, but I also do want to take a second to let people know that it's just one of those seasons and it's okay, even though sometimes it can be a little disheartening. But you're not alone with that. It's been a slower year for me as well. There's just fluctuation with everything, and that comes with being online. It's not inherently a bad thing. Yeah, so I'm gonna set my goals for 8.5. That feels a little bit more manageable. 7.5 was a little bit of a stretch for me for this year as well, so I am happy with the number that I did hit. As of filming this, I'm at 6.99k, so I think by the end of the year I should be good at 7. So my second goal was to lean into the creative side of things that I started off my channel wanting to do. I started my channel because I was thinking about video ideas that I could do and how much fun it would be to do a video like this and how I could do my take on this. So I really do love the content creation side of YouTube. Reading has been my hobby since I was like a child that couldn't even read. It is definitely a part of me, but I also have this love of making videos itself. I don't think that if I didn't, I would still be on YouTube because of the amount of time it takes away from reading to be doing these other things. So I personally have a lot of fun with it. So reflecting on that goal and moving forward, I do think I have the same goal, but the intention behind the goal is going to be different. I think this year I really focused on doing kind of list videos, reading every single blah blah blah. So like I was very kindly asked to host some book clubs this year. So the book clubs, the first one was in April for the Literally Dead book club hosted by Books and Lala. I decided that I was going to read the rest of the picks that I had not previously read. I don't remember how many I read in the video specifically, but there's like 5, 6, whatever years of book club reads, so I read a ton of those. And then in August I was a co-host for the book trip hosted by Gabby from Gabby Reads, and I did the same thing with that. I read all of the books that were left. I had more to read for the book troop. I love book clubs, but I'm bad about keeping up with them monthly, so there were ones that I had read with the book club, but not in the correct month. I just had a lot of fun with those, reading all of the Goodreads Choice Awards horror nominees. I also earlier in the year did one from last year because I was behind. I feel like I've done some other stuff that I just like, I don't know. I can't realistically continue doing those on my channel in the capacity that I feel like I did them this year. Doing videos where I am reading 15 books in them means that I then don't have time to make other videos, and it's really hard for me to not put out a vlog because I'm not someone that's just gonna like add in a random video that I don't care about and don't want to post just so that I'm posting something. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and just yap about who knows what, because I feel like for me that's a waste of my time and that's a waste of your time. I don't think that anybody else is specifically doing that, but I want to be posting videos that I want to watch. I would watch from other people. I love booktube, so the stuff that I am making is similar to things that I am watching. I don't really know how I got to this part of this tangent that I decided to go on. Anyway, I want to be doing a bit more smaller scale videos, but maybe more creative. I don't want to be reading 15 books per video. I just cannot. I do think I'm going to do like maybe one next year, but there's no way that I can continue to read at the scale that I'm reading in like just such short periods of time. I don't think it's impact my enjoyment of anything, because in a lot of these videos I've found books that I love, but it really, really messes with any semblance of work-life balance that I have. And I think that if I'm going to be doing these videos, I need to be doing them in the background over time and then posting them like at a later date versus scrambling to get things done and everything else kind of has to fall by the wayside. So I do want to continue really putting my creative energy into video ideas. I don't necessarily know what that looks like right now. I do think it was last year, well, 2025, that I started doing Spin the TBR, my version of reading my physical TBR. I'm not trying to like get rid of all my books, read every single book on my physical TBR, but I made it a goal that I have to read everything that I bought in the previous calendar year. So in 2026, I will have to read everything that I bought and had on my shelves for 2025. And if I don't read it, I have to unhaul it by the end of the year, just to keep my TBR something that I am personally interested in, something that I'm not looking at and like, oh, I don't want to read that. Because I was at that state a couple years ago when I was just collecting books and then they would sit there for years and years and I would never read them and I would just put it off for whatever reason, and I just don't want those books on my shelves, so this is kind of my version of keeping up with that. I also started Read or Delete, which is kind of similar to people's version of reading their entire physical TBR, but with my digital TBR. I'm not stopping buying anything, but that's just a way for me to prioritize getting through those. But I do have some other things that I maybe used to do that I want to bring back in a different capacity. So I'm not sure what the future of like my specific content is going to be, but I want it to be things that I'm excited about. And I was excited about the list videos at the time, but looking back, I think it just is not going to be something I can sustain long term. So figuring out what I want to be doing that lets me not be stressed about reading books all the time. My next goal last year was to continue to do community things, and that is a huge focus for me at all times. It has been since I've been on my channel. I have always loved doing reading sprints, being able to connect with everybody, hosting and co-hosting book clubs, readathons. So last year I was able to do that. I was a book club co-host for the booktube and the Literally Dead book club. I also hosted my own readathon in May and October for Escape the Readathon and Hollow Weekend Readathon. As of right now, both of those will be returning in 2026. And then I was so lucky to co-host Realmathon, hosted by Covers with Cassidy, the Amazing Readathon hosted by Bree from Four Paws and a Book, the Tarot Readathon hosted by Deja from Deja's Book World and Noelle from Noelle 7 Pages. I was somebody that did reading sprints for the Readathon Rebellion hosted by Mel Lenore Reads. I was asked to be part of TBR Harvest hosted by Leandra the TBR Zero. I also have a collab video series on my channel where I ask another booktuber to swap books with me. Two we loved, one we didn't, and see how much our taste lines up. So I did that 3 times in this year. I will have all of those linked, mine and the other booktubers channel, with Kirsten from The Reading Nymph, Amy from Amy Marie Reads, and Jordan from Sorry Book Salad. I had a very interesting range of books and feelings towards these books, and I just had so much fun with them. So it is something that I will be bringing back in 2026. So that'll be on my channel probably 2 or 3 times. I would love to co-host book clubs again. I love book clubs, but I just can't keep up with them personally. I go back and forth about running my own public book club, but I don't think it's something that I can commit to. And then another really big thing for me with community is my Patreon. I am obsessed with the people that are on there, the people I get to chat with every day. I love doing reading sprints with them. I do so many readathons. I actually run a readathon every single month among different tiers on my Patreon. Sprints and readathons really get people chatting. I get to know everybody. I'm always laughing. I always feel supported from them, but I also feel like people in the community are supporting other people in the community, and it's just really, really cool to see. I would love to continue growing that, have new people join. Obviously, I'm never expecting people to, because it is a paid thing, and I will still continue to be making content here. And in 2025, I made it a goal to do at least one public reading sprint on my channel as well, to kind of still have that reading sprint community on my public channel. So I'm really glad that I did that, and I will be continuing it in 2026 as of right now. I just love doing collaborative things with booktubers, whether that be book clubs, readathons, collab videos. And then I truly, truly love my Patreon community, because for me, that is the thing, besides like my creative love of making videos, that makes this worth it. I love getting to engage with people and hear other people's opinions, and I love watching booktube videos. I do need to be better about commenting on people's. I'm always watching something. So while you're here, I would love for you to leave your favorite creators in the comments so I can check them out. Okay, my reading goal for 2025 was 100 books. I have hit that. I will probably hit around 175 this year, and my goal for next year is officially going to be 100 as well. So my thing is that I have read less and less the past 3 years. So I found booktube in 2019. I read like 70 something books when I found it towards the end of the year, like in the fall time. And then 2020, I wasn't making content. I was just reading. I don't know how many books I read. I started making content in 2021 towards the end of the year. My number just kept going up when in 2023, I believe it got to 260 something books. Then last year, I was like, I think that was a little too much. I'm going to scale back. And I think I read 210. And this year, probably hitting 175, I think is going to be a really standard number for me moving forward. It is something where I'm enjoying what I'm reading. I'm enjoying the process of reading. I think it's a good amount of books for me personally to be reading with the videos that I want to be making. And then it also is giving me time to do other hobbies. I love music. I actually have a degree in music, which I don't talk about super often, but I do have a love for music. Here's the thing. I'm somebody that gets so obsessive. So when I got back into reading, I stopped doing everything else. I was watching booktube and I was reading, and those were my hobbies. But I've been really excited to get back into listening to music. I haven't been like making music recently, but maybe that'll be something that I get back into once I get over my trauma of going to music school and feelings of not being good enough there. Anyway, music, I've been getting back into playing video games, specifically Phasmophobia. I love ghost hunting. I play games with my friends a lot, so there's that aspect of being able to hang out with people. I do want to get back more into things like crocheting. Well, really, I think that's it actually. But giving myself space to do other hobbies besides reading and bookish things has been really good for me. So while my official goal is 100, and it has been for the past like 6 years, well, I guess probably since 2020, I think my like real goal is 150 to 175. I guess I also said that I wanted to prioritize reading physical books a little bit more because I was ignoring books that I didn't have the audiobook for. And I feel like I did that this year. I set a page count goal on Storygraph that was like the equivalent to reading maybe even just 10 physical pages a day, and I believe I hit that a while ago. So that is something I want to continue to do. I don't want to put off a book because it doesn't have an audiobook, but I do think I accomplished that and I don't need to make any changes. Okay, then I talked about my genres, my top genres I most read, my favorite being horror and thriller, but I wanted to kind of add in some secondary genres of romance, romantasy, and sci-fi. I absolutely did that. Maybe not so much with sci-fi, but I, for a while, was considering myself a horror reader, with thrillers being like very close second genre, and then like way down there in the list was other things. And this year I really feel like while horror and thriller are still my top genres and probably the things people think about me for, I think it's very clear on my channel and my videos that I'm also really enjoying mostly contemporary romance. I haven't tried a lot of like more dark romance, but that is something I want to get into. So if you have any channels that read that or any book recommendations, I would love for those to be left in the comments. And then romantasy is something that I've been enjoying. Sci-fi is hard for me because I either really love or dislike sci-fi, so it's harder for me to weed through it because I don't have someone giving me specific recommendations. But some of my favorites are sci-fi, so that is still one of my favorite genres, but not one I pick up as much. I do want to continue this. I want to be more well-rounded. I think it gives me the opportunity to like other books more because I'm not just slogged down with the same thing over and over and over, which was happening for me especially with thrillers. So I'm glad that I've kind of backed off a little bit and given myself some more variety. I don't think everybody needs to do that, but for me, it's been really good. My last reading goal was to read my physical TBR, which I have done. And this is when I talk about my read or unhaul by the end of the year after I buy them situation. As of this point, I have a couple left, but I'm actively working on a vlog reading those. If I don't get to them in this video, I decide I don't want to read that anymore, or if I start it in DNF, cool. But I should be to 0 books that I bought in 2024 on my shelves very soon. I am continuing this into 2025. I will have a video out showing you every single book on my physical TBR, so those books will be featured in vlogs throughout next year, as well as obviously other books. But I'm super happy with my progress, and I love looking at my shelves and seeing them be books that I actively want to read now. Oh, that's funny. I talked about some like kind of related to reading and channel things, and it was the year of schedule. Did not do that. I started it for a little bit. Adam switched jobs and my schedule went out the window. I do think I thrive with at least somewhat of a schedule, but currently don't have one between Adam changing jobs, going on trips, prepping for things, then feeling behind, and it's just whatever. So I do really need to get back into it. I don't want it to be that like I can't do anything because this is my schedule, but I really need some sort of structure moving forward. And that kind of gives me time to exist without thinking about, oh, I need to be doing this, I need to be doing this, I should do this instead of this other thing I want to do. So oh, I think that'll be a constant battle for me at all times, working for myself, but maybe I'll make a little bit of progress. Maybe I should do one of those getting up at 5 well, no, I'm not getting up at 5 a.m. considering Adam doesn't get home till midnight. But I think maybe I should do one of those videos getting up at a specific time, doing specific things, and see how that goes for me. Okay, I talked about hobbies, which I think I have talked about a little bit already. So I have really done well at that this year. And then I talked about making this space kind of what I want it to be, have more decorations and stuff. Did I paint this wall this year? Maybe I did. So I added a little bit of color, and that's all the further I got. This and like the cubby where my desk is, so you can see when I'm sitting with like my bookshelves behind me in the distance. That makes it seem like this room is huge. I painted in there. I think that was all this year, so that's exciting. So good enough. The problem is that my taste is more expensive than what I can afford, so then I just don't do anything because I'm like, well, this isn't exactly what I want, so I'm just not gonna buy it. And then I never save to get the things I really want because I buy books instead. Okay, so that's everything that I talked about in last year's video, my goals for 2025. I feel like I guess I did a pretty decent job other than the schedule thing, and then kind of how I want to bring those goals into this year. And then I wrote down some other things. I have 3 more that I want to talk about real quick. I want to get more into Instagram. I was doing really well with it at the beginning of this year, then I fell off and haven't posted for 6 months. So I would like to get back into doing that. I like watching people's short form content on Instagram, and I also like having a log of all of the books that I read in the year on my feed so people can see what I've read. So I need to get back into doing that. But for me, YouTube is so much easier than Instagram, even though it technically takes more time. And I don't know what it is, but I want to practice it so that I can get better, because I do think that it is something that I enjoy and would enjoy more. So I want to put a little bit more time into that. I want to be a little more intentional about my audiobook time. I do like to play mindless games on my phone when I listen to audiobooks, but I also want to be doing that less time than I'm doing other things. So things like crocheting, working on like a jigsaw puzzle, diamond painting, going for a walk on the walking pad outside, whatever, depending on the weather, listening to the audiobook and following along with the physical book. I want to be doing that more than I am just staring at my screen. Ooh, also Animal Crossing. That's another one. Screens that aren't my phone feel acceptable. My last goal is that I want to DNF more. This might seem a little silly for some people. Literally in Patreon, there's a joke called Pulling Alexi, and it's DNFing, but I was just kind of looking at my stats, and the amount of 2-star books that I'm reading for what just feels silly. Why am I reading books that I find boring and don't really like? Why am I finishing them? And then certain 3-star books I feel are 3 stars because it's not a 3-star the whole time. It's like a 5-star versus a 2-star, and I'd rather those but not the ones that I feel like are just okay. And the 3 stars are definitely like a case by case basis, and I don't think everything that is going to end up being 3 stars should be DNF'd by me, but I know when a book is going to be 2 stars, and I need to quit reading them so that I don't have as many 2-star ratings, because I would rather just quickly move on and start something else and end up reading more books that I really love, because I have this problem where I stop reading because I'm like, I don't want to read that book, and that should be a sign for me to just quit. I haven't had as many favorites of this year as I would like, and I need to kind of rectify that, and I think part of that is going to be DNFing even more. So those are all my goals for 2026. I can't believe that I'm saying that year. It just doesn't feel real. Like, I don't know. I feel like someone's lying to me. I'd love to know any of your goals for 2026 as well. How many books do you want to read? What's just like a creative goal that you want to do? If you made it to the end and don't want to answer those questions but want to leave me an emoji, you can leave me the like celebration confetti emoji. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope to see you in my next one. Bye.